The Star of the Week。今週のスター・オブ・ザ・ウィークはこのグループをスタジオにゲストとして迎えております。Bruce Hornsby and the Range. Welcome. How about introducing individually yourself to the camera one and camera two?
All right, I'm John Molo. I play drums.
Hi, I'm Joe Puerta. I play bass and sing.
I'm Bruce Hornsby, and I play piano and sing.
I'm George Marinelli. I play guitar.
I'm Pete. Excuse me. I'm Peter Harris. I play guitar.
We have been together for 1 year, 2 years.
Well, we kind of put this thing together about 3 years ago, but Peter joined us a year ago. The guy who played on the record, David Mansfield, is doing real well as a film composer, so he was not able to do our tours, so Peter joined us. He's an old friend of mine from school, from Music College. And he joined us, and now he's the permanent member, as long as he wants to be.
I understand each and every one of you has experience as musicians, and you're pretty much versatile. I understand. You have been with the other groups too. Ambrosia. Who was with the Ambrosia?
I was with Ambrosia.
And
I was in one of their videos, though. I was in the last Ambrosia video.
Oh,
So I think
what did
I
you do?
broke up the band.
Yeah.
Oh, you broke up the band.
Yeah. Somehow my presence on that very last video. What is it, Joe?
He was the straw that broke the camel's back.
As they say,
Now he's a straw that
stirs the drink, right?
Yeah. What did you do? What did you do in the video?
I played piano. That's about all I ever do. It's all these guys would let me do. I offered to dance in the background, but no.
To no avail.
Is it true that you started as jazz pianist?
Well, I studied jazz in school at University of Miami, where Molo and Peter also went. It was just something I studied. It's music that I like quite a bit, but I would never call myself a jazz pianist in the sense that I was aspiring to play jazz for a living. I never did that, but I did study it a lot, and it's, definitely an influence in the music.
And what kind of material were you playing then?
Well, my favorite jazz guys were like Bill Evans and Keith Jarrett and McCoy Tyner, Bud Powell, a lot of guys.
Were you singing then?
Well, I really wasn't singing. I mean, I did sing, but when I went to school, I didn't sing very much because I didn't want to. I knew if I started singing a lot, I'd get all these offers for all these terrible lounge jobs that I didn't want to do. So I kind of kept the singing behind, under wraps, so to speak.
But you were that good. I mean, you knew you were good.
Well, no, I'm not. I don't know about that, but I mean, I did sing. But I mean, at that point in college, I was unsure of my direction, whether I was going to continue with jazz or go into the pop music. But in the end, my love for songs and songwriting kind of won out, and I went in the pop direction.
That's when you got to know with each other. How did you came across with each other?
I met Bruce at the University of Miami while we were both music students, and
We met Joe. Molo and I had a band in Virginia, and we were playing in a funky little lounge, playing top 40 music, but also playing our own songs. And the Doobie Brothers, Michael McDonald, came into the bar and heard us play and really liked us a lot. And the next night after they played their concert, brought all his band and Ambrosia, which was also playing with the Doobie Brothers. So that's how I met Joe. And then I moved out to LA and hooked up with Joe some more, and also met George, who was playing in a band with Molo. It's a very small community and very incestuous, bands playing with, different guys playing a lot of different groups.
How'd you get a record deal?
How did we get a record deal?
Bruce?
That was the hard part for me. I had been trying to get a deal. Well, I got one in 1985, finally. I had been trying for about 7 years. Since 1978 was when we first made the first demos of the first songs that I wrote. I've probably been turned down about 70 times by record companies before that.
Big and small record companies?
Mostly big.
Big,
Yeah, 70 times by the big ones. We don't count the small ones. Actually, we didn't really try for the small ones. We were always trying for the big record companies. But it is ironic, as you talk about big and small labels, that the tape that I made that finally got me signed by a big record company was a tape that I made for a small record company called Windham Hill. Are you
That I
familiar?
heard, yeah.
So I was making this tape that I thought was very uncommercial for the small company, and ironically, that's what the big company liked. So it shows you how that I didn't really have a clue as far as how to get a record deal.
You know, who was it? The San Francisco band you just worked with.
Huey Lewis
Huey
and the-
Lewis
yes.
discovered your group.
Well, that's
Was
not
that-
really true. I mean, a lot of guys sort of discovered me during the years where I wasn't really doing much, where nothing much was happening for me. And he was a guy I got to meet through a song. He wanted to record a song of mine, and we became friends from that. And
Jacob's Ladder?
No, another song. Jacob's Ladder, you know, was more recent. Was just recorded 2 years ago for his latest album. I met him about 6 years ago through another song called "Let the Girls Rock," which no one knows because it's still not been recorded. But we became friends, and he was always calling record companies and saying, "Sign Bruce Hornsby. This is Huey Lewis. You got to sign Bruce Hornsby." You know, it never really worked. It was very frustrating for both he and I. Because nothing really came of it. But I was really, I guess, discovered to me by Mike McDonald of the Doobie Brothers.
Don't they ask you, when you have interviews, don't they ask you about the next album, the follow-up?
Yeah. Well, that's a pleasant topic. I mean, it's a new topic, you know. It's not like where are you from, you know, the usual background questions. Yeah, I like the topics, the questions about the next record. We've already started. Basically, we cut a bunch of demos of the new songs, but they basically sound good enough to start from and use. And so yeah, I think the next record will come out next February or March. It's an extension of this record. It's kind of the next step, I think.